Welcome to Destined to Soar, a television news magazine that is dedicated to highlighting entrepreneurs and community leaders. I am your host, Dr. Angelia Bills, President and CEO of Eagle Productions, LLC, a full-service marketing firm. And joining me today is a gentleman from the Kansas City area. He is the pastor of Kingdom Word Ministries. He is also the president of the Ecumenical Leadership Council out of Kansas City. And he is also running for governor of the state of Missouri. Please join me in welcoming Bishop Eric Morrison. Welcome, Eric Morrison. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, Mrs. Bills. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. You know, you have so much community service and public service experience. So can you just elaborate on all the great things that you've been doing for the community?
Well, thank you for that question. It's always been since a time of giving my life to the Lord. It's always been just that servitude and that joy of watching people's lives become better through our tutorial programs that we have had for our children, watching parents, you know, showing gratitude because we're trying to help them with their kids and elevating their abilities to think, distributing food, clothes, you know, watching the smiles and knowing how helpful it is when people come back and telling you how appreciative they are of your servitude and that capacity, working with our fire department, you know, after they had went through a very nationally known despise of racism, gross racism that was going on in the department, asking for us to come in, one of the community people being me, to come in and help them with their cultural change. And a lot of those employees, you know, coming back around saying, thank you so much, Bishop Morrison, for the way that you've been helping and, you know, us get to a better place. Working with different police officers and other community organizations, and just, you know, trying to make sure that the community, the city, you know, the county is safe and better. So, yeah.
Yes, and you also give food. You have food distributions and school supplies.
Yes, that food distribution, it went to a whole different level on during COVID. It was just, you know, we thought that our church, like a lot of churches, was going to close down, but ours like it picked up. You know what I mean? It was a good tired. At the end of the day, that's what I kept telling my wife. I'm like, we tired, but it's a good tired.
You've also worked with Urban Summit.
Oh yeah. Bishop James Tyndall Sr. Noticed me, sat down, had some conversations with him. He said, I would like to bring you alongside. And I, you know, I'm not as young as I might look, but the reality is, it's like he wanted to make sure that, you know, there's someone in those seats that care about the community like he does. And the Urban Summit in general, with other organizations like SCLC, Urban League, that are part of it, helps inspire, you know, other people. And that's what he did, brought me along to say, hey, you and the Ecumenical Leadership Council could, you know, add some vitality to this organization. Sorry.
So if elected, or when you're elected,
when I'm elected,
what will be your philosophy for running the state?
I'm a pastor. I'm a pastor, and so being a pastor, you know, you can't show any racism as a pastor. You can't show any favoritism. You want to make sure that everybody is getting what they deserve, what they need. And so my objective as a governor is to elevate everything that's already been happening, but take it to a whole nother level of bipartisans, and show the country, by the way of the state of Missouri, that there are a lot of things that we can do together, because there's enough resources in this state to, for every county, every community, every city, every home to be provided for. No one needs to go without. We have in my slogan when we were talking about 2024. I said, this is our Missouri. So it's not just one particular person's Missouri. This is our Missouri, and we need a governor that will govern our Missouri for all people. So as governor, I want to make sure that a lot of the lines of divide are erased, and we see a greater level of unity than we've ever seen before.
I love it. I love it. And your slogan is Morrison cares for our Missouri.
Morrison cares for our Missouri, yes.
Love it. And you're running as a Democrat,
I
correct?
am. Yes, ma'am.
And so what platforms, like specific platforms, would you like to see change?
I wouldn't go so much as change, then fixed and helped and tweaked. Education.
Okay.
Education, the education in the state of Missouri, making sure that our children and our more money is allocated to the child versus to the administration.
Yeah.
And knowing that we do need all our wraparound services, because this generation of children that are being taught today is not like in the past. There's a lot of babies in rural Missouri, urban Missouri that are so traumatized. And I'm not leaving out suburban Missouri, but there are so many children right now in these areas that are so disenfranchised and marginalized against, and they are already being traumatized by so many other, the drug abuse, the drug addiction, the violent crimes, you name it, and they're trying to learn. So it's so necessary for us right now to focus in on our future generation of children. So education becomes very pivotal. Healthcare is another one that I can't fathom in my mind how anyone would want someone not to be able to have the medical care that they need when they need it, and have to juggle whether I have to pay a light bill or a gas bill. Do I just put a half a tank of gas in my car to try to make sure that I can get a prescription filled? I think that right there is cynical in itself. I just believe that we need to work that health care out so that all persons, everybody, is not worrying about being sick. It's I get sick, then I'm, it's doomsday.
It's just so much that's going on. I know it's that we're just really
scratching the surface
of everything.
Absolutely.
Everything that is going on. And we talked about our seniors, our senior population, and how they have to deal with property taxes. Did you want to speak more to that?
I can't fathom, again, I know I'm being redundant, but it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking it would be heartbreaking. You work 30 years.
Yes.
You've paid off your house. You go to retire, you're ready to relax. The last thing that should be on your mind is, and now you have a fixed income.
Right.
You're not earning the money that you were earning before, that paid off your house, and you retired, and now you have to try to pay for something over again that you already bought. With you becoming subject to losing it if you have worked. And I know they 65 years old plus, 70 years plus, and have paid off their house, should not be paying personal property taxes. Let me just say it cut and dry like that. And personal property taxes, period.
Yes.
People buying cars and still have to pay personal. And in Missouri, we see these papers flying on the back of these cars, and and the ink on it has faded out because they can't pay the taxes.
Yes.
And there should be some kind of formula where it's included in the payment of the car, and that they don't have to worry about a person instead of paying a property tax.
Yes. Well, this has really been an impactful interview, I feel, and I feel honored and privileged to be able to speak with you about these things. I think that you are a viable candidate.
Thank you.
For governor for the state of Missouri. And, I just thank you for stopping by.
Well,
Okay.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
having me.
Of course.